Have you ever spent 3 hours staring at the same textbook page, reading the same sentences over and over, only to realize nothing stayed in your memory? You know that frustrating feeling when you close the book and can't remember a single thing you just read, while your classmate breezes through the same material in 30 minutes and aces every test. Here's the shocking truth that nobody talks about. It's not because they're naturally smarter than you, and it's not because they have some magical brain that absorbs information faster. The real secret is that they've discovered how to study in a way that actually works with their brain instead of fighting against it. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 powerful techniques that top students use to learn faster, remember more, and get better grades without burning out or sacrificing their entire weekend to studying. These aren't complicated theories from dusty academic journals. They're simple, practical methods that anyone can master, and once you start using them consistently, your results will change dramatically. The first game-changing technique is to completely ditch those rigid, color-coded study schedules that look beautiful but never work in real life. You know the ones I'm talking about, where you plan to study math from 3 to 5 p.m. on Monday, science from 2 to 4 p.m. on Tuesday, and so on. They seem perfect on paper, but what happens when life gets in the way? Your friend calls with an emergency, you get hungry, traffic runs late, or you simply don't feel like studying math at exactly 3 o'clock. Suddenly, your perfect schedule crumbles, and you feel like a complete failure. Here's what successful students do differently. Instead of focusing on when to study, they focus on what to accomplish. Rather than saying, "I'll study for 2 hours," they set small, clear daily goals, like reviewing 2 algebra problems, summarizing 1 chapter, or writing quick notes on yesterday's lecture. This approach creates real progress and builds motivation because you're hitting targets instead of watching the clock. It turns studying from a punishment into a series of small victories that build momentum and confidence. The second technique that separates average students from top performers is becoming a master of one source instead of jumping between multiple books, videos, and websites. Like a kid in a candy store who grabs everything but tastes nothing. This information overload creates confusion and overwhelm instead of clarity and understanding. Choose one trusted textbook or course material and go deep, really deep. But here's the secret sauce that makes all the difference. Write everything down by hand, in your own words. When you physically write notes by hand, something magical happens in your brain. You're forced to slow down, process the information, and translate complex ideas into language you actually understand. It's like the difference between taking a quick photo of a beautiful painting and actually sitting down to recreate it yourself. The painter notices details, colors, and techniques that the photographer completely misses. Your handwritten notes become a personalized study guide that speaks directly to how your mind works, and they're infinitely more valuable than hours of passive reading or watching videos. The third technique is mastering the art of focus recovery. Because here's something nobody wants to admit, even the smartest. Most successful students lose focus and get distracted. The difference isn't that they have superhuman concentration powers, it's that they know how to bounce back quickly, without wasting time on guilt and self-criticism. When you notice your mind wandering to social media, what you're having for lunch, or that argument you had yesterday, don't panic or beat yourself up. Simply ask yourself one question: what was I supposed to be doing right now? Then gently guide your attention back to your task without any drama or negative self-talk. Think of your focus like a muscle that gets stronger every time you notice distraction and choose to refocus. Start with short intervals, maybe 10 or 15 minutes of concentrated study, then gradually build your focus endurance over time. Each successful return to focus is like doing a rep at the gym for your attention span. The fourth technique is protecting what I call your golden hour, which is 60 to 90 minutes of pure, uninterrupted deep focus every single day. This isn't just regular study time. This is sacred time where you create the perfect environment for accelerated learning. Phone in another room, door closed, distractions eliminated, nothing but you and your material, in complete concentration. During this deep focus state, Your brain produces something called myelin, a substance that literally speeds up learning and strengthens memory connections. It's like upgrading your brain's processing power. But here's the catch. This only happens during sustained, focused attention. Students who consistently protect their golden hour often discover that one focused hour accomplishes more than 3 hours of distracted, scattered studying. The amazing part is that the more you practice deep focus, the easier it becomes. Your brain adapts and learns to enter this high-performance state faster and more effortlessly. Pick your best hour of the day, maybe right after breakfast when your mind is fresh, or late at night when the house is quiet, and guard that time like it's the most important meeting of your life. Because it absolutely is. The fifth and most powerful technique is what I call the teaching test, and it's based on a scary scientific discovery. We forget 50% of new information within just 1 hour of learning it, and 70% within 24 hours. All that time and effort you put into studying literally disappears unless you do something specific to lock it into long-term memory. Here's the solution that top students swear by. Review your material on the same day you learn it, then again after a few days. But here's the secret ingredient that makes information stick forever. After you review, explain the concept out loud, as if you're teaching it to someone who knows absolutely nothing about the subject. If you can break down complex ideas into simple, clear explanations, you truly understand the material. If you stumble or get confused, you've found exactly what needs more attention and practice. When you teach something, your brain creates multiple pathways to the same information, like having several different roads to the same destination. Plus, explaining ideas out loud forces you to organize your thoughts clearly and identify any gaps in your understanding. It might feel silly at first, talking to yourself or your reflection in the mirror, but this technique works better than any flashcard, quiz, or study app ever invented. Here's what happens when you consistently apply these 5 techniques. In the first week, studying starts to feel less overwhelming and more manageable. By the second week, information begins sticking the first time you read it, instead of requiring multiple repetitions. In the third week, you're finishing assignments faster while achieving better results. By the fourth week, other students are asking you for study tips and wondering what changed. The real secret that nobody talks about is that success in learning was never about studying longer hours or being naturally more intelligent. It was always about studying smarter and working with your brain instead of against it. These 5 techniques: flexible goal setting instead of rigid scheduling, deep focus on one quality source with handwritten notes, quick focus recovery without self-judgment, protected golden hours of uninterrupted concentration, and teaching concepts out loud to lock them in memory. They're like having a detailed roadmap while everyone else wanders around lost in the dark. Your transformation starts the moment you pick one of these techniques and commit to using it for the next 7 days. Choose the one that resonates most with you right now, whether it's creating your golden hour of deep focus or starting the teaching test with your next study session. Success leaves clues, and now you have the exact blueprint that separates struggling students from those who make learning look effortless. The only question left is, which technique will you master first? If this video just saved you from another night of frustrating and effective studying, hit that subscribe button right now, because I'm dropping game-changing study strategies every single week that will keep transforming your academic life. Your future self will thank you for making this decision today, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.